Hi, my name is Nicole Heinzelman, and I'm Head of Adult Services at the Winter Park Public Library. Today I'll be talking to you about cloud computing, working in the cloud. Don't be intimidated by that term, the cloud, because you've been working in it for a long time if you've been emailing. Think about it. How is it that you can access your email, open it, from any computer in the world as long as you're connected to the internet? Well, that's because your emails are stored in servers, an AOL server, a Gmail server, a Yahoo server, and cloud is just a fancy buzzword for server. The clouds I'll be showing you today are not really meant for emails. They're meant for you to upload and store items like documents and photos and audios that you can share with family and friends and coworkers. Not only share them, but actually edit them. I'm talking about the documents actually, and allow your coworkers and friends to edit them as well. Today I'll be talking about Dropbox, Google Drive, and Onedrive. And the good news is, if you have a Gmail account, then you already have had access to Google Drive this whole time. If you already have a Hotmail, Windows Live, or Outlook account, then you've had access to OneDrive this entire time. Keep in mind that everything I go over today will be available for you to review through one of the handouts that I have attached to this. And all of these they do have mobile components. I'll be working on my computer desktop today, but I promise you, there are mobile apps out there for each of these items that work very well. So, and the other thing I want to mention is that once you're familiar with one cloud service, you'll be comfortable using all of the others. All right, let's go. So our first one is Dropbox. Again, this is a free cloud service you can create an account for. And when you open the screen and have logged in, you'll see that it's divided into about 3 sections. The menu on the left, the main screen in the middle, and then that menu on the right. We'll be exploring all of those. I'm a list person, so I have this laid out like a list. But if you happen to be a visual person, then you can click and choose small to see some icons. If you need them bigger, they have that option as well. And there you go. But because I'm a list person, I'm going to go back up and choose list. All right, so let's look at our list of items there. And the first one I'm looking at is table of comparison, amongst many others that I have uploaded to Dropbox. But that one I'm going to work on for this class. It tells you when I uploaded it, the option to share, open, and then one other box that will expand into a menu eventually. First off, let's open that document and have a look at it. What we can do on this screen is only print it, look at it, print it, expand it. If I wanted to make any changes, I would need to click on Open, which is right up here, and then choose one of those. I'll go with Word for the Web. And when it opens, you'll see why it's called Word for the Web, because it's actually a knockoff product of Microsoft Word. There's Word in the corner and that familiar blue bar. And as this menu continues to load, I'm going to just start deleting some letters on this document as I wait for the menu to load. And you can see the changes I'm making using a red font. Up, there's the rest of the menu. And for those of us who are familiar with Microsoft Word, this screen up here should look very familiar to you, very similar. And also notice that as I delete and type, at the top of the screen in that blue bar, it says Table of Comparison - Saving. So that means that every time I type or delete, Dropbox is going to save automatically. I don't have to ask it or tell it to save. It's going to do that for me automatically. Oh, I love that about the cloud services. Love it. You don't have to worry about losing documents anymore or losing changes that you made. There you go. Let's go back to the home screen. And there we are again, table of comparison. And it says just now, because that means that I was in there just now making edits. And as I open that, there are all of the changes that I made. Okay, let's go back. The next step I want to show you is how you can share it with somebody. Click on Share and then choose Share with Dropbox. You can type in the email address, and then, most importantly, in the Can Edit tab, let's click on that. This is where you can decide your security functions. Who are you sending it to? Do you want them to be able to edit it, or can they only view it and comment? Then you can type in a message if you choose, and then complete the sharing. And it says it's sharing it. Right next to that is the open option, which we saw on one of the earlier screens, but that's a quicker way to open it and edit it. And then there's the box with the 3 dots, and this is going to expand into a bigger menu. And this is where you can choose to maybe delete it or move the file into a folder, even rename it if you'd like, and yes, even share away at the top. But I think for this one, let's try renaming it. I'll show you how easy it is to rename the file. So let's do that. I will get there eventually. There I am. Click on rename, and I'm just going to remove the word form and hit enter on my keyboard, and it's renaming it for me. There it is. Big changes, I know. Okay, so that is just an example of one of the many things you can do with a file. And you can also see the version history to see how many times you have worked on a particular document. Okay. The other thing you can do with a file is you can move it into a folder. Before I do that, I happen to click on Create New File, and that is another way, that is a way where you can create a brand new document. I might show you that later. Before doing so, though, you can upload very easily files from your computer. So there's my computer right there. I don't think I found any docs from there I wanted to upload. So I'm going into a different folder. I'll go into my personal work folder, and I will pick Floor Patrol. It might take a minute for it to load, although it's not a huge document. There we go, uploading. And there it is. So let's open it, see what we can do. Once again, we have the option to expand it, zoom in on it, even print it, but we cannot edit it. To do so, we'll need to click on Open and choose Word for the web or Google Docs. And then there's the option to share it. All right, I think let's try to maybe move that document into another folder. I'll show you how to do that. So I will, let's see, maybe move it into, I don't know, book clubs. Let's click on that menu, choose Move, and then select the folder we want to move it into, book clubs, and then click on Move. And just like that, poof, it disappears. However, if I open the book clubs folder, then the document should appear in there. And it would be just as easy to move it back out. Okay. Okay, and I can easily create a new folder if I wanted to, and then decide what kind of security do I want for that folder. I can see any files I've deleted and hopefully retrieve them. Okay, let's go back to all files, I believe. There we go. And that, again, will be the easiest way to make a brand new document. We're familiar with the Word for Web. Those are the other examples you can make that are knockoff versions of Microsoft Word products and Apple products. But Dropbox actually has their own product within it, built into it, called Paper. And I'm showing this to you, Create New Doc, over there in the corner. Although I will be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this. It is very simple, very much on the fly. And when I say on the fly, I mean it, because you can't really edit it or change much of the font. It's very little that you can do. And if you want to be able to access it, because it is a document you made with a Dropbox Paper product, it's not going to show up in your all files. I believe that's only going to show you what you have uploaded from your computer. Instead, you would need to click on that Paper folder, and then that is where you would see what you had done recently. Again, I'm not a fan of Paper. You can certainly play around with it. I think the Create file, where you have access to the Microsoft and Google products for free, is a much better way to do this, to create folders. To create files. So next, I think that was all I wanted to show you. The next product, the next cloud service I want to share with you is Google Drive. Remember, if you already have a Gmail account, then you have had access to Google Drive this whole time. There are a couple ways you can get into Google Drive. You can always just type it in and click on it. The other option is up in the, when you're on a Google screen, up in the right-hand corner, you see that cluster of little dots. I'm hovering over that with my little mouse eventually. Let's see, there we go. If you expand it, Drive is there. You can click on that to open your Drive. For those of us that have Gmail, you'll see some similarities immediately. There is that plus new symbol over there, which is what you would usually use to create an email. There are a number of other folders, including the familiar trash. And then we have our list of files in the center. Across the top, we have quick access, what we've used recently. And remember, for those of us who are more visual, we can change this from the list that we see on this screen by moving our mouse all the way over to the upper right corner and by clicking on that little tiny grid. So I'll get over there eventually, just kind of wandering around the screen. There I go, there's a grid there. And if I click on that, it's going to change it into icons. So I, however, am going to put it back on the list screen. And now we can start tinkering with Google Drive. Oh look, I have a floor patrol edit right in there. Yes, those are my files I was using most recently. Okay, there's floor patrol edit. I happen to have that in Google Drive too. It's all over the place. I'm right-clicking right now with my mouse, right-clicking. And as soon as, oh no I didn't, I left-clicked, pardon me. And as you can see, we can look at this, we can view it, we can print it, but we cannot edit it. If I want to, I have to click on Open with Google Docs, which is right at the top. So I'm going to click on that so that we can edit it. We can make some changes, Google Docs. And guess what? As soon as this loads, you're going to see how similar it is to Microsoft Word. As soon as the menu finishes loading, there you go, right across the top, that strip of commands and capabilities that most of us are familiar with using Word, or even I think the equivalent is Pages for Apple. And you can do everything. You can change fonts, etc. And as soon as I start typing, Google Drive is going to save for me. I'm used to seeing it in the center from Dropbox, but in Google Drive, it's kind of up there on the left. I'll show that to you. There you go. They have it up there. Anytime I type, it's going to automatically save to Google Drive. Very, very great. Very easy. There you go. I can even change the font color in one fell swoop, just like that. Okay. All right, let's get out of here and let's go back to our main Google Drive. And I think this is where I make a mistake. Ha, yes, I closed too many screens. There you go. Getting back in there so easily just by clicking on that grid of dots and then the Google Drive symbol. Here I am back in Drive. And I'm going to open up that floor patrol edit so we can see that everything I did saved automatically. There you go. Off to the right there, there's a little box that says I want to add a comment. This is a comment feature that most of the cloud services offer. You can add comments. So for people who you are sharing this with, they have notes that they can view, etc. I just right-clicked on Floor Patrol and this menu expanded. And this is where we have options to remove, delete, etc. Make copies, move around, rename, all of that fun stuff. There we go, easy enough to move into folders. Again, once you are familiar with working with one cloud, you'll see how similar they are to other cloud services. Open with, there you go. That shows when I last worked on it and the size of the file. Okay, I mentioned comments earlier, so I think I'm going to try to show you how to add a comment. All right, so to do that, let's see, what am I doing here? I am going to open it with Google Docs. And I can put my mouse cursor in any little box there on the table, and when I do, there's a little caret that's going to open. It's kind of hard for me to see on my computer screen here, so I hope that you can see it. And when I click on that, a little plus symbol has opened, and I can click on that to add a comment. So let's say that I'm sharing this document with two of my coworkers, Rachel and Jody, and I need one of them to add something in that particular box, the Monday 2 p.m. slot. So I'm sending them a comment, and then I will share the file with them so that next time they open it, they will see that comment and they'll be able to reply to that comment right there in the same document. So that is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to type in one of their email addresses and then click on the editor button, and that is where I can decide my security. What kind of capabilities do I want to give the person I'm sharing this with? Do I want them to be able to edit it, or maybe just view, or maybe even just comment? If you choose edit, they can do everything with it. And editor is the default setting. That is the most common default setting for all of these cloud services. So just remember that. And then I can click send if I wish. And then when they open the document, it will look something like this, and they'll see that box that says Rachel or Jody, and Jody, for instance, could click on it and reply right there. So again, that's the wonder of Google Drive. I don't know that Dropbox had that full capability. I think this is an extra feature that is very helpful, especially if you're collaborating with somebody, maybe on a resume or a spreadsheet for a budget, something like that. Very helpful. And any of those comments, I believe, can be deleted also. Okay, so let's pretend, let's practice on adding stuff. So file upload, that seems to be the universal term for adding items to the cloud. And I'm going to just click on, I think it's the RGB. The RGB file, I will get there eventually, and it sounds like it's a top secret file, but once I load it, I will open it, and you will see it's a very dull document indeed, but I'm uploading it anyhow. Very small. Opening it, and you'll see it just contains some coding. So it should be opening any second now. It's being a bit stubborn. There it is, some coding. Okay, yes, very exciting, I know. So let's go back, and next let's click on folder upload. And I have a folder at the top called Adobe Connect, and if I upload, then it's going to send that folder into the drive. It's got two documents. It might take a little bit longer than a simple RGB doc. But there it is, and I've opened it, I'm opening it, and there are the two documents right there. There we are. How quickly they appeared. All right, let's go back to Drive. And it's finishing loading there. And the next thing to do is I am going to move my mouse all around the screen, maybe. Here we go, click on New, and let's check out Google Docs. Google Docs and Google Sheets and Slides, those are the equivalent of Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft PowerPoint. So let's open up the first one. And once the menu, there you go, there's the ribbon bar at the top that a lot of us are probably familiar with from working in Microsoft Word or the Apple equivalent. And there we go, there I am typing. And every time I type, there is saving going on. You can see it at the, kind of in the left of center, it says saved to drive. And it's also noting the mistakes I'm making as I type, so it's reminding me that they also have grammar suggestions. Thank you very much, Google Drive. So there's my untitled document. And when I made that, and if I right-click on it, actually, no, if I just click on it, nope, if I right-click on it, I can rename the document to something really exciting, which is the date that I have made this class. So there you go. If I click on Google Sheets, that's going to open up the equivalent of Microsoft Excel. And it's going to have all of the capabilities that we're used to with the Microsoft Excel. Typing in data, changing formulas, inserting tables, all of that fun stuff. With the added capability of sharing that with someone, naming it, etc. and adding comments. There you go. Very easy to add comments right there. All right, let's collapse that. And now let's explore Google Slides, the equivalent of PowerPoint. I can easily begin typing as the menu finishes loading, and immediately off to the right, they have some templates that you can choose from. I think I will just start typing in here to show you how easy it is to use this, and also how familiar the menu is at the top. You can insert videos, shapes, tablets, charts, diagrams, etc. And there I am typing, and of course, Google Drive is automatically saving that for me. It's very simple to add a new slide. There you go. And it has saved that for me. I know not much going on there, but just showing you with a couple of clicks, you can start working on a PowerPoint presentation. It is untitled, and I can open that to add more, to edit it, share it, add comments. And there is that. Very easy to use. I think this is so comparable. It's a free product, very easy to use on the fly. Open that to add a comment if you wish. There you go. There you go. I agree that this is a great product, and it's free, available wherever you have access to the internet and a device. All right, let's collapse that. Let's go back. And across the top, don't forget you have quick access. It will show you what you have worked on recently all across the top. Let's see, easy enough to do file uploads, folder uploads, new Google Docs, sheets and slides. I went over that. So next up, let's see, am I going to open that up one more time to show you something new and exciting? It would appear that I am. Okay, so I'm going to share this, and as soon as I attempt to, it's going to ask me what kind of security I want to attach to that document. When I send it out, do I want someone to be able to edit it, or perhaps only view it, or just add some comments? So the default will be to edit it, just like it was with Dropbox. And that is the trash folder. You should be able to retrieve most of what you deleted, depending on if you have purchased any more additional space. But they have a pretty good record of being able to retrieve items after you have deleted them. And that is Drive. The next one I want to show you is Onedrive, and that is a Microsoft product. So remember at the beginning, I said that if you have a Hotmail account or an Outlook or Windows Live, then you already have access to OneDrive. And here I'm going to type in my account information and hope I remember that. Let's see how far I get. I think I did okay on this part. There we go. Typing kind of slow, but I'm getting it in there. There we go, Outlook.com. And thankfully it remembered my password, so I'm going to sign in. And voila, there it is. Doesn't that look kind of similar to Dropbox and Google Drive, at least the way they're arranged? We have a menu off to the left with your files and folders, categories. In the center, we have your list of files and folders right there. And eventually I'll show you how you can rearrange that. But there is the familiar new and the familiar upload button that I was just on with my mouse. So let's open up our first document. Oh, before I do that, I can put a little check mark there, and we'll get that menu up there, which will allow us to delete something or rename it or even share it. So that's where that menu appears in OneDrive. But let's go ahead and open it, and it's going to open in Word for the web. I believe we were in this when we were in the Dropbox cloud service. There's a lot of my lovely typing just to create a document on the fly for this class. There it was. And anytime I make a change, you're going to see that it saves automatically. And of course, there's that familiar toolbar, that ribbon, where we can change our fonts, our font sizes, colors, bolding, italicize, all of that fun stuff that we've grown accustomed to doing in Microsoft Word, but now we can do for free with this web version. It has all of the capabilities of the software. Might be missing a couple of small things, but really if you're doing this on the fly in a hurry, it's a great free resource. Again, there it is saving. It even has a review for those of us who are spelling challenged or typing challenged, like myself. There you go. I will collapse that, and I will go back and see the file that I just made. I've made a lot of files that have really no description, but that is the one I was just in. And there it is. And the rest of the menu will load. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's the capability to share and comment. We'll be looking at that later on. I can rename it by clicking on that, and I'm going to give it a really exciting name, a silly test. There you go. For some reason, it's telling me this document is still in use, although we all saw that I got out of that. I collapsed that window. So I'm going to call it a quirk and move on to a different file for the purpose of this class. So anyhow, there is the one I was in, the one I just renamed. Not cooperating with me very well. Okay, so right here is where I'm going to show you how you can change how this screen looks. You can change it to look even smaller, although I don't know why you would. Better yet, you can change it into tiles and make them even bigger. But of course, I'll go back to my list, and there we are back on the screen. If I click on Upload, there's Files, and I'll pull something from my computer. There we are. Okay, I'm actually going to pull in a photo, that particular one, with 3 cats in it, and I'm going to discover that it's not going to upload for me. It says uploaded to my files. I don't see it in there, unless I didn't scroll down the screen long enough. I thought that might be it, but that's one that I had uploaded in there a long time ago. So this is going to be an error, and I'm sure it's on my part, but bear with me. So I'm going to try this again, and I'm actually back in Google Drive. I don't know what happened, but I made a mistake, and I'm going to fix it. I'm in Google Drive when I'm supposed to be talking to you about OneDrive, so give me just another minute, and I'll get us back where we need to be. So here I am opening up another Internet tab. Okay, that's good. Searching for OneDrive, there it is, and I'm going to type in my account information, make an awful mistake of calling it something at Gmail, but OneDrive is going to be very forgiving to me and let me in anyhow. Thank you. There I am. And then I'm going to go back and make another error, but I'll get us back in. Okay, so this is a good example where whatever you do, you cannot break your cloud. You can always retrieve what's in there. It's just a matter of logging in. There you go. So here I am trying to upload another picture of me and my cat Pansy. And it does open, it is in there. But I find that when I click on it and I just want to view it, it's prompting me to save it to my computer, which I think is very unusual. I may be doing this incorrectly. With Google Drive, I did not have that issue, but with OneDrive, I am. I'm going to forgive it, though, because it has so many other functions and capabilities. I imagine if I clicked on Preview, that would have done it for me. I would have been able to open it. So I don't know why it's not opening that, but it's opening this one. So I don't have an answer for that. Fortunately, there are so many other things that OneDrive does correctly, including letting me in over and over again so that I can complete this section of this class. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, so again, note the similarities between OneDrive and Google Drive and Dropbox with how they list their items. You can change the way your screen looks. It's easy enough to upload, finding that there are some differences when it comes to viewing photos. But that's not the worst part of it. It's going to show you, there's the picture I was trying to show you with me and my cat Pansy. There it is. Okay, so let's go back. And let's go back to OneDrive, to the home screen, pardon me. And here we are back on the list, and I am just moving my mouse all over the place while I decide what to share with you next. Let's see. Under New, we can click on any of those Word document to begin creating a document. This will be pretty much what we worked on with in Dropbox. This is Word for the web. As I mentioned before, in Dropbox, this has all of the capabilities that Microsoft Word does. I'm sure it's missing a bell or whistle here and there, but really, if you're doing something on the fly away from your main computer, even working on a mobile device, this would be a great resource for you to use. So this is the that was the equivalent of Microsoft Word, and that is the document I just made. I can rename it very quickly. Save that, and there you go. Back to the home screen, let's open up New, and then from there, choose the Excel workbook, same as a spreadsheet. As soon as the ribbon finishes loading, it will look very familiar to you if you have worked in Excel before. We have all of the capabilities of formulas, adding tables, all sorts of fun things, images, etc., with the added capability of sharing it or even adding comments, and also a review if you are typing challenged like I have been recently. Backing out of that one screen, it has been saved automatically. Oh, before I back out, maybe I was, yes, I was going to share it. So when I do that, this is where it asks me what kind of security I want to set. Notice that it offers a password protection, and I don't remember seeing that with Google Drive. So kudos to OneDrive for offering this. Again, that's where you set your capabilities for who you're sending it to. All right, the next one is the PowerPoint presentation, and it will look just like the PowerPoint software. Unlike Google Drive, this one does not immediately load those colorful templates off to the right, but that's okay. They are there. They will show up eventually. They also have some other templates that show up in due time. It's reminding me that they have some other options in there. It's automatically saving to OneDrive. There we go. Off to the right, those are the templates that we can choose from. Plenty of those. And then if I click on when I click on Insert later on, you will see even more templates. It's automatically saving for me too. Under Home, there we go, Save to OneDrive. And let's see, if I click on Insert, or even New Slide, those are some other shells that I can choose from. Lots of capability there. All right, let's get out of there. Let's see. What else do I want to show you? I'm back on the OneDrive screen, the main screen. And here I am still wondering why I wasn't able to open those images. It still bothers me. Nevertheless, uploading files, easy enough to do. I might even try it again. Oh, no, this is where I'm going to show you how you can upload a movie. This is the actual original video file I made for this class. It was an MP4. And it's going to take a couple of minutes because the file is huge, but it is capable of holding that here in this cloud. And from there, I can share it with people. Now, those who are opening the file can only view it unless they happen to have software available to do any editing or any app available to do that editing. But it's loading up in there, and I think I refreshed my screen before I'm able to see it in there, but it is there. There it is, cloudcomputing.mp4. There's the format. Okay, so there was that. All right, so that is mostly it for all of the basic introduction to using clouds, cloud services, Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox. all of the things, the basic things you can do with them. There's so much more that you can do with them. Very helpful for so many projects. What I finally need to show you are some extra components that you can add to your computer when working in the cloud. There are actually pieces of software that you can download to talk directly to the cloud. For Dropbox, there is a software. For OneDrive, there's a OneDrive folder software you can download. And I will be minimizing my desktop momentarily so you can see more of what I'm talking about. For Google, there are Google Sheets, Docs, and Slides pieces that you can download. Okay, there we are. There's the Dropbox folder, there's OneDrive, and then there's Google Docs, Slides, and Sheets. I'm going to try, I think I have already clicked on Dropbox and am waiting for that to open. I'm going to discover that it's going to take a while, so I will then try to open the OneDrive folder. Basically, whatever I have in those 5 icons should mirror what I have in the cloud, the respective clouds that match those icons. So this is great if you're going to plan on working exclusively on a file in Dropbox or the other 2 clouds. You can just put it in that file, that piece on your desktop, and have ready immediate access to it. And whatever change you make in that on your desktop right there will automatically show up in your cloud version on the internet as soon as you log in and refresh or sync your screen and your service. Okay, so this should be, okay, so that was the book clubs, and everything in there should show up just fine in Dropbox. There we are. Everything should mirror that, and also should mirror what is in OneDrive. There we go. I seem to be going back and forth, but what is in OneDrive should mirror what is going on in my site online. So let me get back into that for you. This is OneDrive. Stay with me. I know it's a lot of switching back and forth, but those are components that you can add for free by downloading them from the respective sites. I do thank you so much for taking the time to learn about the cloud. There is a lot more you can do. Oh, I'm also attempting to open Google Docs as I speak. That's going to open in a different browser, so I think that's going to take a minute or 2. I should also repeat that the mobile apps that work with the cloud services work very nicely on whatever device you are using, Windows or Apple or Android, whatever. So that is the separate, let's see. All right, so here is the separate internet browser for Google Docs, I believe. I know it's a little confusing, but the handout that I have added with this class explains it more. It's just a lot of moving back and forth between the products on my desktop. So your main takeaways for this class are that the cloud is useful to store files that you can also share with people. You can also collaborate and work on with people. It's great to use to create stuff on the fly too when you're away from your computer. It's been a lifesaver for me, I know that. And also, once you've worked in one cloud, you'll be familiar with working in all of the others. They all tend to operate the same way. So I do hope that you take some time to explore the attachment, the document that I've added. It does have much more information for you to review. And play around in the cloud. They are free accounts, although you can always purchase more space. Have I ever run out of space in my clouds? No, I have not. So I have not ever run out of space. It is possible, I'm sure. So I do appreciate the time you have spent with us here today. And don't forget, if you have any questions about these cloud services or anything we've gone over today, you can certainly call us or email us at info@wppl.org. And please do take some time to look at the attachments here. I look forward to working with you again and sharing some more information. Thank you very much, and do take care. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.